Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
and I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so something is happening to Africa and we all have to pay attention. So in today's video, we're going to be reacting to a very viral speech that has been going viral throughout the week of the new president-elect of Senegal.
Yeah, West Africa in particular has been showing a very new crop of leadership that I think I tend to admire in Africa. And if all other African presidents could follow suit, this would be really nice. But what is it that Basirol said that went viral and further went on to put him on the map in African politics? Let's watch.
It's high time for France to lift its knee off our neck and put an end to this unjust oppression. Centuries of misery, human trafficking, colonization, and neo-colonization have caused immeasurable suffering. It's time to put an end to this cycle of oppression. It's high time for France to leave us alone. It's time for France to take a cue from its European neighbors and learn a valuable lesson in independence. Germany is the leading economic power in Europe, significantly surpassing France, which is ranked as the third or fourth largest economic power globally. Germany does not exploit any country, any colony. I can mention Italy, I can mention Spain, who had colonies before, but who do not exploit anyone, who do not interfere, who do not impose leaders in their former colonies. On what grounds does France believe it can continue to impose leaders on us and make choices on our behalf? This must come to an end. And the emerging Africa, the African youth, the African elites, and the African diaspora all stand united in saying no, it cannot continue any longer. France's hypocrisy is evident and pervasive in daily life. Let's examine the cases of Mali and Chad as prime examples of this hypocrisy. In Chad, where the constitutional process has been interrupted, France applauded and its president visited to officially consecrate the new king's coronation ceremony. In Mali, where it is not the constitutional process that has been interrupted, but the transition process, France has condemned and even packed up its things to say that it is leaving Mali. That's hypocrisy. It's the double standard. It is the double language that France employs in its dealings with Africa. During our questioning of Mr. Jean-Yves Le Drian regarding the situation in Ivory Coast and France's decision to allow a third term, he provided a clear explanation. He stated that while he accepted the third term for Ouattara, he refuses it for Belarus. He emphasized that France has condemned the situation in Belarus and has actively encouraged the European Union to do the same. Le Drian explains that in Belarus, millions protested, unlike Ivory Coast, where there were no mass demonstrations on the streets. This is how France deals with African issues. Personally, we expect absolutely nothing from France. We desire her to cease meddling in our matters so that the people of Senegal can exercise their freedom of choice rather than being influenced by France's selection of a candidate using the tactics we are aware of. We begin by targeting individuals, adorning them with the Legion of Honor or a similar knightly rank, enlisting them in Masonic lodges, and informing them to prepare themselves as they will be next in line. Even the hypothesis that Macky Sall may not succeed, we know who is being prepared by France. This must come to an end. It will not occur in this manner any longer. Let's be clear. We have absolutely nothing against the French people. In France, both political and citizen voices are rising to hold and express the same discourse as the one I am currently presenting to you. For example, the deputies, such as Mrs. Frédérique Dumas, who regularly speaks on the platform of the Assembly, who regularly writes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, since she is a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, to raise this unfair behavior of France towards Africa, hold the same speech as us. The same Mr. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Jean-Paul Lecoq, André Chassaigne, all deputies, hold the same discourse as us, and hundreds of other voices. The NGOs, like other non-profit organizations, are doing remarkable work in the same direction. We strongly urge France to listen to the voices that speak to it about our plan for a more collaborative, fairer, and sustainable partnership between Africa and France. It is crucial that we work together towards a future that is equitable, just, and environmentally conscious. If she listens, I believe we'll have beautiful days ahead in our collaboration together. If he doesn't know how to cut it, thinking he can continue to function like in the time of our grandfathers, this African youth no longer accepts it. France must make preparations for a definitive break and completely withdraw from Africa. Africa belongs to Africans, not France. She belongs to no one else. Neither China, nor the United States, nor anyone else.
So guys, I like what is happening in Africa. You know, Africans are waking up, and the beautiful thing about this is that you see all this revolution that is going on in Africa is the young presidents, the young men in power who just came in power, who are bringing these changes. Because if you look at countries that, and this is where I say it's very important for our now generation to vote in people who are capable of seeing things in a different way. If you get what if you get what I mean.
Yeah, because I think President Basiro, he's very clear on what he's saying, and he's very straight to the point on what he needs France to do, what he needs France to let go of. You know, like
he's not looking to ostracize France or whatever. He has said clearly he's not an enemy of France, and he does not see France as its enemy. The only thing he wants France to do is cut the umbilical cord, let them do their own thing. If they're coming in the name of just fair dealings, that is okay, they can work together. But if France is coming in still trying to act like the colonial power, exploiting Africa and whatnot, that is what he doesn't want. And if you look at what is happening in West Africa, people like Ibrahim Traore, they've really taken their government in position, and they're trying to do what is good for their citizens. You understand?
Right. At this juncture, it's still too early for the young president to to show us what he's capable of doing and to fulfill what he's promised to his citizens. But I sure do hope that once he has entered that office, he doesn't become like any other African leaders that we've had previous bad leadership all over Africa, and that is why right now Africa is still at the juncture that it is right now. That is why right now Africans are still yet to be respected in Africa and the world, So if these young presidents can steer up not only their nation but Africa to the towards the right direction, I'd say this is a way to start, and it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I wish the other countries would follow. When you look at a country like, I don't want to single out any country, but anyway, it must be said for the context. When you look at a country like Uganda, it has only had one president.
Ever since I was born,
one president for over 20 years. What am I trying to say? It's very good when you look at a country. Let's take Kenya, for example, the country we live in. We've had multiple presidents, and we have a 5-term rule for presidents. So what I'm saying is, it's good.
And the maximum they can run is 10 years.
10 years, not more, not less than that. It could be less depending on the outcome of the elections. So what I'm saying is, it's good if a country can practice its democracy and choose a particular leader, because if the dangers of having one person sit in a position of power,
there's no new fresh perspective, especially when it comes to leadership. He'll be ruling you the same way he was ruling your grandparents in the 90s, And also, I wouldn't say that Kenya is well off. No, I wouldn't say that, because Kenya is very corrupt. The leadership is very rotten, And right now, I might come under fire for saying this, because I know there are some people who support our president, but our president, he is one of those who practice old mentality.
Not really old mentality. He has charisma. He has a good mouth. All talk. The kind of president all talk but doesn't deliver.
He doesn't deliver. Not all talk but doesn't. He doesn't
deliver. He'll promise, and then fail to deliver everything he's promised. So I'm really praying that this new president of Senegal, takes the country towards a different direction, development and whatnot. Yeah. Because when you look at a country like Congo, they're really, really suffering. It's because they've never had good leadership.
They've only had leaders who look after themselves before they look after the good of the country.
So you can imagine if we had a lot of presidents who are like Ibrahim Traore and the new president of Senegal, we have them everywhere across Africa. I feel like Africa would be a better place.
But it would be a great continent to live in.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know. let us know what you think about this episode, because I feel like I like where Africa is going. It's a start, right? It's a
few
step
countries
forward.
are transiting right now, especially in the leadership podium, and I hope Kenya will not be left behind, will soon follow the road. But in Kenya, there are not so many good contenders for presidential politics.
But right now, let's just wait and see.
Maybe in future we'll measure up to what West Africa is when it comes to
somewhere. Anyway, I like the fact that he's also the youngest president currently in Africa at 44 years old, and he's a president, So I hope age won't be a limit for presidents to be chosen going on in future here in Africa, because it's right now it's the best time to show what young people can do,
lead a country and lead it well.
Yeah, I feel like in Kenya right now we've gone through so much that if a young person came in power, like I feel like the younger generation really have the brains and mind for the modern world to take the country where it needs to be. Because if you look at a country like Kenya, even job opportunities are very, very limited. Young people, when you look at the government structure, we have a lot of old faces, but young people, so the mentality they have, they don't,
young people,
exactly. So young people don't have enough representation that they should. So you find a lot of them are jobless. Nobody really understands the plight of issues of young people. So hopefully this brings a great light towards Senegal, and we are waiting to see. We are keeping an eye on the country. Ibrahim Traore, it's been 1 year so far. He's doing an amazing job,
from us outsiders, because we are not
looking in.
From us outsiders looking in, they seem to be moving towards a direction,
right? Let's give them 5 years. We see how the countries are going to, what they
that
going
is
to
if
look
for
like.
real they won't hold their elections, because he was supposed to help in the transition government to lead an election. Was it in June or July?
Not sure.
Yeah, but if some people have been saying that he doesn't look like he's gonna follow through with that, which might bring problems to that country. But let's see, if he's a good person and if he has good interest for the country. I mean, it's tricky, but you guys, let's just see what the future holds for Senegal, and see you in our next episode. But before we leave, please remember to subscribe if you've not done so, and you can also leave us your comment on what you think about the young president's speech. Did you like it? Did you not? Did he speak
Did you
sense?
agree with what he said, most importantly? Because anyway, let's leave it at that. Let's meet you on the next episode.